Welcome to Bond and Bondage Helpline, where we untangle human emotions. No safe word required. I'm Stella Black. Hit the like and subscribe buttons for your weekly glimpse behind the curtain of human behavior. You think you're an independent thinker? That your opinions are yours? That your taste in clothes, music, or politics came from you? But let me ask you this. Ever wonder why you suddenly crave a certain food after seeing it on a friend's plate? Or why you're more likely to buy a product with thousands of positive reviews? Yeah, that wasn't a coincidence. It's the power of social proof at work. That was your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do. And in this video, we dive into the fascinating science behind it. How our brains are wired for social survival. Long before we had cities, likes, or Reddit threads, we had tribes. And if your tribe thought a berry was poisonous, but you said, "I think it's fine," guess what? You might end up very dead. So, over thousands of generations, evolution shaped a nervous system that prioritizes fitting in, even when it goes against what we actually believe. In psychology, we call this conformity. And it's not just cultural, it's neurobiological. Brain imaging shows that when we go along with the group, reward centers light up. Dopamine, baby. But when we go against the crowd, the brain interprets that as a kind of pain, social pain. It activates the same circuits as physical injury. Your brain would literally rather you break your ankle than be socially excluded. Enter social media. The digital superhighway for conformity. Algorithms don't just show us what we like. They show us what's popular, what's trending, what everyone else is reacting to. And your brain, it's taking notes. Every like, every share, every hot take you repeat, your brain registers that as social currency, and conformity becomes addictive. In a world where visibility equals survival, on platforms that reward sameness, original thought is a liability. You're not rewarded for being right. You're rewarded for being relatable, familiar, and most of all, agreeable to the tribe you want to belong to. When something becomes popular, we assume it must be good, because if that many people like it, how bad can it be, right? Popularity becomes a proxy for quality. That's why you might pick a Netflix show with 5 stars, even if you don't actually like it. Because deep down, your brain whispers, better to be safe with the herd than wrong and alone. Now let's talk about the halo effect. This one's sneaky. We assume that if someone is impressive in one area, they must be trustworthy in others. Like if a doctor endorses a shampoo, we believe it works, even though that doctor might specialize in orthopedics. But our brains don't care. We see the lab coat, we assume expertise. We project halo-level credibility onto everything they touch. And then, there's the holy grail of influence: testimonials and reviews. Our brains are wired to trust stories more than stats. One genuine-sounding review from a real person can outweigh an entire evidence-based report. Why? Because narrative is personal, it's social, and it triggers empathy, not analysis. The more relatable a review feels, the more persuasive it becomes. Marketers know this. Influencers know this. Politicians really know this. You don't need proof. You need social proof, because once you see others buying in, your critical thinking takes a little nap. And your brain goes, well, if they're into it, maybe I should be too. Conformity feels safe. But that safety comes at a price. When everyone starts thinking the same way, it's easy to confuse consensus with truth. This is the danger of groupthink, a psychological trap where dissent gets silenced. Alternatives are ignored. and bad decisions get a free pass just because everyone agreed. We've seen this in boardrooms, in courtrooms, in history textbooks. From failed military invasions to financial collapses to social media pile-ons, groupthink doesn't just produce mistakes, it produces disasters. Now add mob mentality to the mix. When individuals dissolve into a crowd, something eerie happens. Personal responsibility fades. People say and do things they'd never do alone because the group gives them cover. And the more emotional the group, the more rational thought takes a back seat. Suddenly, the goal isn't truth, it's unity. And unity, at all costs, can turn ugly. But the real cost is personal autonomy. The more we conform, the less we think. Studies show that under social pressure, people will doubt their own senses, literally. In one classic experiment, participants looked at a line on a card and chose the wrong match, just because everyone else in the room did. They knew it was wrong, but they went along. Why? Because being accepted felt more important than being right. Social pressure is subtle. It doesn't come with a threat. It comes with a raised eyebrow, a delayed like, an awkward silence. And yet it reshapes what we wear, what we say, what we believe. Left unchecked, it erodes the most vital skill we have: critical thinking. Without it, we stop asking questions. We stop pushing back, and we start mistaking the volume of agreement for the quality of an idea. Conformity can feel like belonging, but when it silences your instincts and overrides your judgment, it's not community, it's control. Social influence is everywhere, and unless you know how to navigate it, you're not thinking, you're reacting. The first line of defense. Critical thinking. Not the kind where you just do your own research on Reddit and call it a day. Real critical thinking means interrogating your sources. Who benefits if you believe this? What evidence are they not showing you? And most importantly, is this idea actually true or just popular? But analyzing the outside world isn't enough. You also have to face your own biases. We all have blind spots, cognitive shortcuts designed to keep us from feeling uncertain. Confirmation bias, authority bias, the illusion of majority opinion, these aren't flaws in the system. They are the system, and unless you actively question them, they will run your mind in the background, like malware you forgot to delete. And then there's the hardest part, standing apart from the crowd, even when you know the facts, even when you're sure, because going against the grain comes with a cost: awkward silence, side eyes, maybe even rejection. But here's the thing. Confidence isn't about being loud. It's about being clear. When you've done the work, when you've checked your thinking, when you've faced your own biases, you don't need applause. You just need alignment with yourself. Navigating social influence doesn't mean rejecting community. It means refusing to be owned by it. It means choosing to think instead of just echoing. And in a world that rewards conformity, that choice is a radical act. It's easy to belong when you echo what everyone else thinks. But what do you believe when no one's watching? To live beyond the crowd means asking questions most people avoid. What values actually matter to me? What ideas have I just inherited without examination? Most of us build our lives using other people's blueprints, family, culture, trends. But a borrowed identity can't give you real fulfillment. It can only give you approval. And those aren't the same thing. Independent thinking isn't rebellious for its own sake. It's a skill, one that takes effort. It means sitting with discomfort, questioning your assumptions, and sometimes admitting, I don't know yet. It means making decisions based on principles, not pressure. Because if you let the crowd decide for you, you may never learn what you're actually capable of. And here's the truth. No one wants to say out loud, conformity is seductive because it removes responsibility. You don't have to explain yourself if you're just doing what everyone else is doing. But living authentically means standing behind your choices, even when they're unpopular. Even when they cost you likes, comfort, or belonging. To embrace individuality isn't to reject connection. It's to build it on your own terms. And when you cultivate a mind that's rooted in clarity, not consensus, you stop looking for your reflection in other people's approval. You stop following the noise, and you start listening to your own signal. That's enough for now. Your scars might be on the inside, but scar patches come in all shapes and sizes. Find your patch and protect them with your life. See you next week.